All right, let me give it about 1 more minute and then I'll take roll call. Bob, do I have to take roll call before I call the meeting to order or after?
I would do it after.
Okay. All right. In the absence, and the first order of business is going to be to take care of this, but in the absence of a chair, this morning, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. First thing I'll do is do a commissioner roll call. Just reply you're here if you are, of course. If you're not, don't reply. Joe Wilson? Here. Thank you, Joe. Hope? Mims?
Present.
Thank you. Demetria Scott?
Here.
Thank you. Jackie Alexander?
Here.
Sandy Olson?
Here.
Nia Malo?
Here. Good morning.
Good morning. Cam Williams?
Here.
Thank you, Cam. Jean-Jacques Elong is excused this morning. He's got a family issue he had to tend to. And I'll introduce her in a little bit. But our newest consumer member, Roxanne Alston, had a pre-planned vacation. So she unfortunately couldn't join us on the meeting today. So we do have a quorum, so we can proceed. I would like to start by calling for nominations for a chair pro temp. We need to first nominate and elect a chair pro temp, who will then conduct the nominations and election for the chair position. So do I hear any nominations for a chair pro temp?
I would like to nominate Commissioner Scott for a chair pro temp.
I would like to second that nomination.
Okay. Thank you, Cam. Going forward, folks, if there we don't need a second if there are no objections or anything. So thank you for that, though, Cam. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none, Commissioner Scott, you are automatically elected as the chair pro temp. And I'd like to turn the gavel, so to speak, over to you to conduct the nominations and elections for the chair position.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate that. I'd like to go ahead and open the floor for nominations for the election of a chair for the 2025-2026 year of the Real Estate Commission.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Scott for the chair for the 2025-2026 chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Olson.
I'll second it.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Malou. Are there any further nominations? With that, I'll close the floor for nominations. And Scott, you'll have to give me advice at this point. Do I need to call for a vote? Or?
No, you don't. There's no other nominees. So congratulations, Commissioner Scott. You are the chair.
Thank you. I appreciate it, everyone. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. And then I'm going to ask, do we have anyone who's willing to make a motion for approval of the administrative dismissals for this month? There were 4 administrative dismissals.
So moved.
Is there a second by chance?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving the motions for the automatic administrative dismissals this month? Can I get a vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Motion passes. And next order of business is the approval of the minutes from our May 21st meeting. They were distributed by email by the MREC staff. Thanks so much. Are there any motions for approval?
I'll move to approve.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Wilson. Any objections or edits or changes or anything like that? I see a second. Any discussion? No? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes as submitted? Say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. The motion passes and the minutes from last month's meeting are approved. The next order of business is the reports from the chairs. Education chair is myself, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so these are the exam stats for the month of May 1st through May 31st of 2025. I'm just going to go over the number of licensees that passed, those that passed on the first time and the passing percentage, and then the overall number of new licensees that are eligible in the state of Maryland. So for salesperson's exams, we had 849 people take the exam in the month of May. The number of individuals who were taking it for the very first time were 227. Of those 227, 81 passed both portions on their first attempt. And that is a pass rate of 35.6%. For the Maryland broker's exam, 45 exams were administered. 9 individuals took both portions of the exam for the first time during the month of May. 4 of them passed, which was a pass rate of 44.4%. Together with all the licensees who passed, be it their first or their second time, I believe there are 281 new individuals eligible for licensure as salespeople, brokers, or associate brokers in the state of Maryland. And those are the education stats for this month. I'm going to stop sharing. And then the legislative committee this month has the absence. There's no chair for the legislative committee. We will have a chair next month, but I believe legislative does not have a report for today. Is that correct for those of you? I think, Mr. Alexander, are you a member of the legislative committee? Yeah. So our next meeting.
That's correct, and we don't have a chair yet.
Okay. And then at this point, we're at comments from the executive director, Scott Lederer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to formally welcome Joe Wilson as an industry member to the commission from the Eastern Shore. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Do you want to give us just a little snippet of your real estate experience?
Sure. So I was born and raised here in Ocean City. Both my parents actually were in the business. I got licensed back in 2009, started doing it full time in 2012. Opened my own brokerage in 2018. We've got about 32 agents down here in Ocean City, just as kind of small independent brokerage. Also have a vacation rental department and manage some investment properties. So overall, been around it for a long time and really enjoy it. And a huge honor to be here and serve on the commission.
Thank you, Commissioner Wilson. And I will say that I did visit Commissioner Wilson's office a couple months ago. Very nice facility, very nice location right on Coastal Highway, and a great presence for the industry down at the ocean. So welcome again, Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I will also welcome, although she unfortunately couldn't make today's meeting, Roxanne Alston as our newest consumer member, which that rounds out our 9 commissioners. So we'll officially, I guess, unofficially welcome Roxanne at the next meeting when we see her. I can just tell you that Roxanne is the Vice President of Consumer Relations with the National Council of Architectural Registration Boards. So she brings with her some great experience from that realm, and we look forward to her contribution on the commission. So we'll welcome her when we can see her. I wanted to mention a couple of regulatory proposals that have been submitted by us here at the commission based upon legislation and votes by the commissioners at the last meeting. We submitted a regulatory proposal to add the CE late fee as a reinstatement fee specific for CE credits being completed within 30 days of your license renewal. And the associated fee with that was proposed at $75. So that proposal has been submitted to make a change or an addition, I guess, or establishment in Comar, establish that particular fee. The second one was voted on last meeting as well. That is the regulatory proposal for the CE course submission by the providers, education providers. This was brought about by a legislative change that was voted on by the General Assembly this past session and signed by the governor, and will go into effect October 1st. And that particular statute changed what's in the current statute from a $25 charge for the commission to review and approve course content for the providers. And the law then says it will, instead of $25, will be a fee set by the commission. So we are setting the fee by virtue of this regulation at $50, which the commission voted on last meeting. So that's been submitted as a regulatory proposal as well. And the last one is also a result of the new legislation, and that is the broker supervision in the statute, in Title 17 statute. It actually identifies the broker supervision class to be 3 clock hours. So the legislation changed that from 3 clock hours to 1.5 clock hours. And since those hours are also stipulated in Comar, 3 hours, we had to submit a regulatory proposal to change Comar from 3 to 1.5 hours. So I'll keep you abreast of the progress of those regulatory proposals. License count, I give this count comparison each month. And for the month of May, we have a year-over-year reduction in number of brokers of just under 4%, 3.82%, which brings our broker total to 3,975. Associate brokers, 3,058, and that was a 1.5% reduction. And then the salesperson license count for May is 37,808, which is a 4.7% reduction year over year. So the combined total of those three license categories comes to 50,010, and that's a 4.11% reduction. And then lastly, I'll just again mention the Arello Annual Conference is in September 9th through the 12th. So those are my comments, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Executive Director Lederer. Any comments or questions for Executive Director Lederer? If there are none, I'm going to go on to comments from council.
I do have a question.
Sorry, Hope. Go ahead.
The question that I have is, in terms of the brokers and associate broker numbers, and then the salesperson's numbers, is there any way possible for you to be able to share the number for commercial licensees? Are we seeing an increase in that number or a decrease in that number?
To answer your first question, there is a way. I just don't have it in front of me, and I will get that and distribute it to the commissioners. But and I will. I'll dig into the prior year's month to see what the change might have been.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Just for the record, last time I looked, I believe it was roughly around 1,700 strictly commercial licenses.
Any other questions? At this time, we'll hear from Advice Council Pombianca.
Turn off the mute. Madam Chair, Madam Chairman, excuse me, Madam Chair, congratulations.
Thank you.
Look forward to continue working with you. I knew I was going to get that wrong, but I just wanted to mention one thing. At the last two meetings, I mentioned this, the land records fee that the state archives had proposed charging, kind of an esoteric issue that got a lot of attention from all sorts of folks, and not just in this, not just in the real estate world, but it impacted a lot of other industries. So I can report, including the State Bar Association got involved in it. So I can report that proposal, or if that's the right word, the archives has backed off on that and is not going to proceed with that at this time. So a lot of folks were interested in it. It came up in a number of different boards at the department. So obviously they got somebody's attention. They got folks' attention and they listened. So, but that's all I have to report on that, and nothing else.
Thank you so much. Next on the agenda is comments from the chair. I have no comments at this time. Next month, perhaps I'll have comments. Next, old business. Does anyone have an old business that they would like to bring?
I think that would be mostly
Okay. Any new business that anyone wishes to bring before the commission? Okay. In the absence of old business hold on. We're going to move on to public comment. Does anyone have any comments that they wish to make? Chair recognizes Krista McGee, and after her, the Maryland Real Estate Educators Association.
Good morning, everybody, and congratulations, Chairwoman Scott. It's a pleasure to see you rise to chair, and welcome to Joe Wilson. It's great seeing you on here as well. I just wanted to give a shout out to Scott Letter for the amazing article that we just recently featured in our latest Maryland Realtors magazine. And I also wanted to, and I'll share the link in the chat. I wanted to invite you all to register. We're having a free event. I know it's really like close timing, but this coming Wednesday in Columbia, we are having our annual DEI event with some really good, content and speakers. So I'll post the link in the chat. It's a free registration. And if you're among the first to sign up, you get a free book too. Just throwing that out there. Other thing I want to mention is I really wanted to ask if there's been any updates about the West Virginia law change as that impacts our the office requirements in Maryland, because the statute had triggered our statute a few years ago, and just kind of wanted an update on that, given that a lot of these folks have to rent office space.
If I may, from a standpoint of our licensing department, we have heard nothing from anyone regarding challenges related to that change. So, but I will keep an ear to the ground and let you know if I do hear anything.
So is it still required then with our statute of those from who hold a Maryland license that are West Virginia residents, brokers?
I don't believe so, Bob. If you have any comments, but I believe our statute says we will reciprocate with the same requirements.
No, that's correct. So if West Virginia is requiring out-of-state licensees to maintain a physical office in West Virginia, then the Maryland statute would impose that same requirement on West Virginia licensees so the Maryland law hasn't changed. Depending on how and I haven't had a chance to look at it, but depending on how the West Virginia statute is worded, Commission and Scott and I can talk about this, but may want to consider sending out some sort of a communication on that. It sounds like Commissioner Olson looks like Commissioner Olson has her hand raised.
Yes, I reached out to the real estate commissioner at West Virginia, and she absolutely confirmed that we no longer need to have brick and mortar offices as long as we have brick and mortar in the state in which we reside in. And she said that law goes into effect July 10th. And she sent me over to change of address form.
Any other questions, everyone? Krista, any other comments?
No, thank you.
Okay,
I'm finding the registration link and putting it in the chat right now for upcoming
thank
events.
you.
Thank you.
Maryland Real Estate Educators Association. You guys,
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
yes.
Okay, good. Well, congratulations again, Commissioner Scott, and welcome to Commissioner Wilson. As Maryland Real Estate Educators Association, we would like to invite, I've already sent the invitation to Scott, but if any of you want to join us on July 15th at 2, we have our meeting on that day. It is virtual. And then I just have 2 questions. Scott, when you were mentioning the changes to the regulations, are those also going to include the fair housing and the electives?
The legislation changes the statute from 1.5 to 2 hours, but there was no mention in COMAR of fair housing hours required. So there was no need to change that. We only had to change broker supervision only because in COMAR it stipulated 3 hours as well.
Understood. And then the last one for the disclaimer now being on the Maryland Register. If we had sent comments before, do we send them again before the deadline?
I might have to defer to counsel on that because I'm not familiar with how that works.
You're asking about the revised disclosure disclaimer form?
Yes.
I mean,
It's currently posted on
I'm
the
not mistaken, the comment period for that has already closed.
Oh,
So I think that
I'm seeing it posted online stated that comments are due by July 14th.
okay, maybe I'm mistaken about that. I'll have to take a look at that.
Okay.
I might be mixing it up with a different regulatory proposal, but
Okay.
So I mean, if the comment period is still open, then the comment should be emailed to Mr. Lederer.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Mr. Pettis is next.
Congratulations, Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Wilson, for your new positions. And I just had a question or two. One had to do with the House bill. I believe it was House Bill 972, the continuing ed changes and the instructor certification. I could be wrong, but I thought I read something in there that said that the education providers would have control of the class inputs, meaning they would put the outlines together and so forth. but it kind of implied that the 4 mandatory classes that are under the commission's purview would also be included in that. And that now, unless I read it wrong, the way I think I understand the regulation is the education providers will now have the authority to select instructors based on whatever criteria they have. But the Real Estate Commission still maintains the responsibility for the 4 mandated classes, meaning the outlines, not the instructor certification, but the outlines. Is that consistent?
I'm going to give you an answer, and then I might ask Krista to chime in. But there was no, as far as I remember, and I could pull it up, but the legislation did not stipulate anything about outlines. It only talked about instructors being selected by the individual education providers, qualified instructors. So there was no mention about who would provide outlines. The commission's responsibility will continue to be to provide an outline for the commission for courses you're talking about. And there's 3 now. Well, after the legislation goes into effect, Brad ST goes away. So it's broker relationships and disclosures, Brad, broker supervision, and commercial agency.
Yeah, somehow I think the words I'm remembering. I think the words were course content. I think was the phrase that was used, which made it sound like even the mandated courses they would have the authority to prepare their own course content for those classes. But maybe I read it wrong. And I guess the second question I have, I get a lot of students in class that are confused about the 30-day license renewal requirement. And I thought there might be something coming from the commission, maybe in the way of an email blast or some type of communication that would basically clear up the fact that with respect to fair housing going to 2 hours mandatory in October, licensees whose license expires after October 1st, they're taking classes right now 1.5 hours. So it just seems like they're going to have a problem because the new requirement goes in October 1st for the 2 hours. So they're totally confused about that. Not all the education providers are teaching 2-hour fair housing. Most of them are, but some of them are not. And then the other issue seems to be it's 30 days to complete your continuing education prior to expiration to avoid the administrative fee. But really, isn't it more than that? Because the schools have to upload to the Real Estate Commission. So assuming the 4-day requirement that they have, really, you're going to have to renew and complete your courses well beyond the 30-day requirement, because you can finish it in 30, but if the school takes 4 days, then that's going to put you, I think, in a non-compliance situation.
All righty. Madam Chair, may I reply?
Of course.
Okay. I'll start with the last comment there, Bob, because that's right in front of my face here. That is, the 30-day requirement is course completion, not submission. So when the CE credits get submitted to our system from the provider, the course date, the completion date, is what the system goes by to calculate the 30 days. So you could take it on the 31st day and the provider not upload it for another 14 days, but you're not going to get dinged because you completed it 30 days prior. That makes sense? So we
Yes.
go by completion date, not submission date. And by the way, it's 14, the legislation that went into effect last October stipulated that the CE had to be completed 30 days prior, and that providers had up to 14 days to submit.
Okay.
Okay. We still get licensees who are not familiar with that new law or old law now. And we continue to send out e-blasts regarding that. And we also, I've mentioned this before, we also initiated back at the beginning of the year, sending out a 6-month notice and a 3-month notice to a licensee, letting them know that the 6-month, for instance, says your license is due to renew 6 months from that date that you get that notice, and your CE needs to be completed, and an actual date is put in there 30 days prior to the renewal date. So we do that 6 months and 3 months. And of course, they get a 30-day and then a 7-day notice. So when your license is going to renew, you're getting at least four notices from the commission. So it's hard to justify someone who complains that they didn't know. That could be that they didn't read their email, they didn't get it when it's spam, they don't have an up-to-date email address. So whenever I go out and speak to any brokerages or associations, I reinforce that as best I can. Regarding the change in the federal fair housing, we sent out, the commission sent out an email blast to all the providers last month, encouraging them to start offering the 2 hours for that very reason. And a blast will go out to all the licensees regarding that as well very shortly. And that blast will encourage them to take the 2 hour if they've already taken the 1.5. They renew after October 1st. They are going to have 2 clock hours registered, so they'll have to take another 1.5 because you can't take a half-hour class, obviously. Or there's also the opportunity for anyone who, the system allows a licensee to renew up to 60 days prior to their renewal date, their expiration date. So you have 2 full months prior to your renewal date to actually go into the system and renew. So if you're a licensee who took an 1.5 hours already and your license renews in October, November, I would encourage you to renew in September if you've already finished all your CE, because up until October 1st, it will take the 1.5 fair housing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you for the clarification.
Sure thing.
Commissioner Mims, thank you for being so patient.
No problem at all. First and foremost, congratulations, Commissioner Scott, as well as welcome, Commissioner Joe Wilson. I wanted to really quickly touch on what has been trending in the news is squatters. That has become huge. That's all I've been seeing on social media as well as in the news media over the past few days. And I know that House Bill 202 was introduced, but this is becoming a huge issue for property owners. And so I don't know if I don't think that House Bill 202, if there was a resolution to it, if it got passed, but I don't know if there's anything from a real estate commission perspective, if there's anything that, we can do for our licensees, a message that can come from us that talks about squatters or anything, talking about what the rules are or what they can and cannot do or anything. But I think that in this moment, we have an opportunity to at least say something because this is pretty big right now in the media.
So, Krista, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that bill passed. and it mandates that if you have a squatter situation and you're a landlord, that you have to have a hearing before a judge in what, 2 weeks? Was that it? I found that out from my Maryland Realtors magazine in the most recent reading. So yes, correct me if I'm incorrect, but it did pass. So that's much sooner than it was previously. But I am aware of the squatter issue. I have a lot of investor clients as well. And Fox 45 did a really scary piece on squatters, like maybe about a month and a half ago. And I did text it out to a number of my investor clients. I encourage them to get a security system. They may seriously want to consider to have a security system in any unoccupied properties, because once someone is moved in, it's terrible to get them out. And the Fox 45 story was specifically about a woman who was actually running a business. She was entering the property, changing the locks, providing false leases, and pretty much giving people a primer to be able to stay there for 6 to 8 months before a landlord could actually take any action to get them out. So yeah, I sent one of those to my clients who are all investors and people who are rehabbing properties to let them know that maybe they should consider putting in a security system. From the agent perspective, I think for me, the message is the same as it's always been. Please do not give out combos or codes to lock boxes, because this individual seemed to have some type of listing, according to the woman in the article, and that she had access to the property. And once you give out the condo or the code, I mean, she was rekeying the property for the new tenant and collecting a few $1,000s from them for the service. So again, lockbox codes. Also, I would encourage people to use electronic lockboxes. There are a plethora of manual lockboxes out there that people use, but your errors and emissions insurance does not always cover you if you put a combo lockbox on a property. They want the more secure Bluetooth box with better tracking. Any other comments from any other members of the commission?
I would just say that this is a moment for us to make sure that people are hearing from us on this topic, because it's huge in social media right now. This is a great moment for them to hear these types of things from us.
Very true. As well as the fact that we take all lockbox violations seriously.
Yes.
Commissioner Olson.
I will just say we had a situation recently. It wasn't necessarily a squatter situation, but it was a vacant property. The new owner was going to be leasing it out, and the agent took it upon themselves to take off our agent's lockbox. Well, actually take the key. She couldn't take it off because it was central lock, or he couldn't take it off, but he took the key out of our lockbox, put his own lockbox on it, put a for rent sign in the front yard prior to, and was showing the property for rent prior to settlement without the owner's permission. So that's another, I called the broker and broker handled it, thankfully. But just be aware, if you have vacant, if you are working with investors, vacant properties, be sure you're checking on it as well. And those Ring cameras and security systems are huge, because that was going on too. So I was not happy.
Executive Director Lederer.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I've been talking about this for a while, but it's finally coming to fruition, and that is the resurrection of the commission check newsletter. There was a hold on any newsletters coming from any department in the state for the last couple of months, and that hold's been released. So the commission check is in its drafting form and should go out shortly. And I will make sure, Commissioner Mims, that document, the first one, has a section in it about the squatting issues.
Any other comments? Okay, if there are no further public comments, we're just about ready to adjourn the meeting. Guys, our next meeting is going to be on Wednesday, July 16th at 10:30 a.m. The link will be posted on the publicly available website. Scott, did you have any other reminders that you wanted me to go over?
No, I don't. Did a great job.
Thank you. And if I could get a motion for adjournment of today's meeting.
Move to adjourn.
I second.
Okay, thank you, everyone, and I will see you next month.
Oh, vote. Did they vote?
No,
Oh, did you? Oh, we have to vote to adjourn. Everyone, I'm here every month and I don't even remember that. Okay, so all in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous votes in favor of adjournment. So we're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.